We're here tonight at Lexington 104 Speedway with the Orange Crush. We're just waiting on the race to get started, so y'all stick around.
See them folded?
Yep.
All them folded? You know, it's 6 of them there.
Right.
Hey, look, they're all good tires. They're worn, but I bought every one of them tires new last year.
It'd be better than what I got right now.
Yeah, I mean, no, they'll all fire off. They'll all warm up and work, seriously. You can just put them on and go. So we brought some old tires with us and gave them to some guys that hopefully it'll help them, you know, just trying to get a factory stock up and going and everything. Got to spend the money in the right places. They get some tires and that helps to put them on the track. You know, that's a good thing.
Here you go.
Struggling with valve covers, but I finally found it. And I mean, I called myself really thinking I had found it. Put a really good set of valve covers on, but the oil was actually wicking up the boss out the dang bolt hole around the hold down bolts. Just crazy the way these bow tie heads are made. I'll have to show y'all some other time. But they've actually got a cut back on the inside, and the gasket doesn't clamp down around the screw boss, and it lets oil run right out the screw boss. Craziest thing I ever seen. At least I found it. I went out there and hot lapped the car, and probably need to slick it off. I think I need to put a winch spacer on the left rear. So that's what we're doing. Throw the spacer on there.
we're headed down Victory Lane, I guess you would call it. As you've seen, Jason came out in first place. Unfortunately, there was only 5 cars. So anyway, here we are.
So Lexington 104 is running a 2-night show, a modified shootout. This is a modified special, but that was the Friday night show. They're going to run a Saturday night show. I'm not going to bring the street stock back. I have figured out at this point, after chasing the oil leaks on the valve covers and everything, even though I'm not blowing oil out the breather, I'm overfilling the heads with oil. It has to be. That's, you know, it's like 100%. You know, it can't, I know that it was creeping oil out around my bolts and stuff, and I see why that was happening, but at the end of the day, the oil level had to have been like halfway up the valve cover for that to even have happened. So I don't have any blow-by. Those new rings are seated perfectly, and so it's not purging that oil out the breather, but it's filling the heads up. That's what's going on. So we're parking it tonight, and I'm going to pop the transmission and the flex plate off of it, and I'm going to put a set of restrictors in the back of the block, and we'll restrict the amount of oil that is hitting those push rods and hitting those heads. You know, I like to put a lot of oil on the valve springs because it really helps the valve spring life. But, you know, if we're pumping oil and filling the heads completely up, well, obviously that's too much oil. So we're going to deal with that. We'll get that in a week or two because I've got to have this completely solved before we start going off to some big show. So what does that mean for tonight? Okay, so I am going, Rachel is not going to be able to drive tonight. That track right there, she feels like experience level. She really wants me to like take her back to Poplar Bluff or Camden or somewhere like that. A little bit bigger track, a little more room for her to, you know, work on, you know, being more aggressive and starting to move forward where she's got some room to get out of people's way. There's not as much room at Lexington. It's a very technical track. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pull the seat out of the crush. I am going to put the seat back into the factory stock. I am going to run the factory stock tonight if I can get everything done. Now, I owe you a setup on this crush because we have got this car working for sure. I'm very happy with how the car was driving last night. It is free enough now, but yet I've got that drive that I need in the car. So definitely on point on the setup. Thank you, Mr. J. Neal with BSB. He's been working with me. I am on Team BSB, and he was spot on, you know, talking to me about things for me to look at and try and adjust. So we got there on it. As far as giving you the information, this video is going to be out on a Sunday. I'll have it out sometime midday Sunday. So Sunday night, 8 p.m., I'll do a YouTube live where we can talk about setup and kind of where I'm at, the evolution of it, and why that this is working now on this car. And I've got the scale numbers where I scaled it, and I've wrote everything down, and we'll go through all of that. Get on live and check us out, and we'll spend at most about an hour, and we'll go through everything on this car or whatever's going on. Really appreciate it, and hopefully we're going to do well in the factory stock tonight. All right, see you later.